Hello, my good friends. How is everybody doing? As usual, I hope everything went well for you. I hope you had a great day, and I hope that things will be better as the night progresses. You get some really good rest and stuff. I want to tell you a story. We women really suffer some indignities and unfair treatment and all sorts of devilish things at the hand of people who are supposed to be taking care of us. I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to see how short I can make it. A movie I watched some years ago called The Burning Bed. Some of you might have seen it. This woman was married to this man, and she had, I think, maybe three children. And the man would really beat her. He beat her day in, day out. She never had to do anything. He would just beat the daylights out of her. One evening he went home and she sat at the table enjoying dinner with the children. And when he came in and saw that they were enjoying themselves, he caught hold of one end of the tablecloth and he just ripped it across, and it took everything with it. All the food and everything was in a mess, and he tipped over the chairs and kicked her to the corner. And oh boy, he gave her a hard time. And when he would beat her, she would go down to the police station and report it, or she would call the police and they would come. And every single time that the police came, he would meet them at the door and they would say, "We've come to find out, oh, everything is fine, Mrs. Jones is good, and there's no problem here, we're doing well," and stuff like that. And they wouldn't even go in to find out what is happening. They would leave. And that went on for a long time. And one night he had gone out and he came home and he had gone drinking. So he came home drunk and he decided to take her. And he raped her and he just wouldn't stop. Apparently, the rum or whatever it is, the strong liquor that he had, just made him go on and on and on, and he couldn't stop. And the poor woman was desperate. And when she eventually got away from him, she just planned for him. So I'm trying to remember if it was the same evening that she did it. But anyways, the long and short of it is that she packed up the children in the car this particular evening, and she drove the car close to the gate, and she told the children to sit in the car, and she told them, no matter what happens, don't look back. They must not look back. I think it was the same evening that he had raped her, and she had a bottle of gasoline, and after he had done that, he just fell asleep, and she just made a ring right around the bed. She just poured the gasoline in a ring right around the bed, and she lit a match and flung it, and the whole place just caught fire and then exploded because she apparently left the container, and she ran for her life. And the children heard the explosion, but she had told them not to look back, and she drove away. Don't remember where she went, but the police got her. And in spite of the fact that they had had reports, she was going to be imprisoned. And so when she was in court and she was being questioned, and her lawyer questioned her and all of that and stuff, and the other lawyer was saying that, the man didn't do this and he did not deserve whatever, they decided to take the little boy on the stand, and he got up there and he spoke his little heart out, and my goodness, everybody was so distressed. And I think before they spoke with the child, the woman's lawyer, the woman's lawyer got the mother of the man on the stand as a witness, and he questioned her, and he said to her, "Did you have a broken arm some months ago?" And she held her head down and she said yes. And he said, "How did you break your arm?" She didn't answer, and he asked her again. She never answered. So he said, Was it your son that broke your arm? Remember, you're on the oath. And she said yes. And I think he asked her if the son was provoked, and I think maybe he said no. And then the lawyer was able to show that this man was just a violent man. He never needed to be provoked. If he came in and saw the place spick and span and the children and their mother sitting at the table having a good time, he thought it shouldn't be, and he would just tear into them. Just like that, without being provoked, no apparent reason. And so she was sent to prison for 2 years, but she, you know, she was a good woman, so she didn't spend all the time. I think she got weekends off to visit her children, and afterwards they let her out early, if I remember it clearly. But yeah, that's it. So sometimes women are in relationships that are abusive, really abusive, and you really don't know how to handle it because children are involved. And sometimes you don't have to give the man a hard time, you don't have to provoke him. Depending on if he has an anger problem, he'll come and just fist you and that kind of thing. And after a while you're just tired of it and you do something about it, and you're dragged into the courts and you have to spend the time. Can you imagine, after being abused for so long, and then you went on the defensive and you did something and you're going to be imprisoned because of it? And especially if it were a case where you had gone to the police a number of times and they didn't think that they should intervene because it's a domestic matter. You know, I'm not advocating that women should turn on men or vice versa, but I'm just saying that as women, we sometimes have some very dire situations to face, you know, and it's like you don't have an advocate to speak up for you or to shield you or to do anything for you. You're just there, you have to defend yourself. Some women have big sons and the sons can stand up for them, and you know, a man has to back off and that kind of thing. But what about a woman who doesn't have anybody to stand up for her? And sometimes she has people, but they can't stand up for her because they're afraid, you know. And I think that sometimes as women, battered women, they should get together, form a group of some kind, and come up with ways and means of getting away from all of this abuse. If it's even to form a co-op or something where they all can go together and work and empower themselves and get out of the situation before it is too late. Some of the situations that you know about also, men and women, and the woman wants to get away and she gets away, and the man goes after her and just duns her. You know what I mean? Him just finish her. If I can't have you, nobody can have you. I tell you. Yeah? Domestic violence is a killer. Pun intended. Think about it. So if you're out there and you're in an abusive relationship, try to see whether you can empower yourself and get away from it, and pray to God that whomever is abusing you doesn't decide to do anything foolish. You don't deserve to be treated like that. You deserve to be empowered. You deserve to live a life free of violence. I remember seeing one young lady the other day in the news. The man apparently had cut out her belly, but she wanted to go back. She dropped charges and she wanted to go back to him. So I pray that everything will go well. Well, that's all for now. So I'll catch up with you sometime soon. I trust that everything will be well and that everybody out there that is listening is in a good relationship, if you're in a relationship at all and you're not suffering at the hands of anybody. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment if you will, and I'll see you next time. I did have a good day today. I hope you did also. Bye.